Some novels don't just tell a story, they shape how we see life, morality, and even ourselves. Here are 5 classic novels I've personally read and loved, in no particular order, that have stood the test of time. First we have The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. A philosophical and spiritual epic centered on a deeply dysfunctional Russian family. Dostoevsky explores faith, doubt, free will, and the nature of good and evil, all through the turbulent relationships of the Karamazov brothers. The book wrestles with timeless questions: can one live morally without God? Is suffering redemptive? It's dense, emotional, and haunting, a novel that doesn't offer answers, but forces you to confront the ones you hold. Next on the list, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Set in California's Salinas Valley, this is Steinbeck's grandest novel, an ambitious retelling of the Cain and Abel story, stretching across generations. He examines love, sin, and the concept of timshel, the idea that we all have the choice between good and evil. The characters are unforgettable, complex, flawed, and achingly human. It's a story about inheritance, forgiveness, and whether we can ever truly break free of the past. Next is long but deeply rewarding, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. More than just a swashbuckling adventure, this is a tale of betrayal, resilience, and calculated revenge. Edmond Dantes, wrongfully imprisoned, escapes and reinvents himself, but his journey isn't just about justice. It's about how vengeance changes a person, and whether it can ever bring peace. The plot is addictive, but it's the emotional cost of obsession and mercy that gives the novel its enduring power. Now, of course, more Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. This psychological thriller places us inside the mind of Raskolnikov, a desperate student who murders an old pawnbroker, then unravels under the weight of his conscience. Dostoevsky dissects the idea of moral relativism. Is any crime justifiable in pursuit of a greater good? Guilt becomes a spiritual torment, and the story becomes a search for redemption through suffering. It's intense, cerebral, and deeply compassionate toward even the most broken of characters. Now last but certainly not least, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Often labeled a romance, but it's so much more, a sharp social satire cloaked in charm and wit. Austen critiques class, gender roles, and personal bias through the evolving relationship of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. It's a novel about first impressions, misjudgments, and learning to understand others, and yourself, with greater humility and empathy. Despite its 19th century setting, it feels startlingly modern in its insight into human behavior. Before we finish, here are some honorable mentions: classics worth exploring: Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, a chilling dystopia about pleasure, conformity, and the loss of individuality. Stoner by John Williams, a quiet, understated novel about the dignity and sadness of an ordinary academic life. Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, a chaotic, darkly funny portrayal of war and the absurd logic of bureaucracy. The Trial by Franz Kafka, a surreal and unsettling story about a man trapped in an inscrutable legal system, raising questions about guilt, justice, and alienation. Which classics do you love that didn't make the main list? Share your favorites in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and happy reading.